Welcome to Henry's Off-Road Travels. In this series, join Sharon and me as our long-term plans of crossing Australia is finally realised. We have 4 months to explore and find out whether the West is really the best. We travel with friends in our new Land Cruiser 300 and fully off-road caravan. I hope you enjoy our travels as much as we do. So we are leaving Streaky Bay today. It's been a bit of a windy night, not too bad, but it has been a bit windy. We had a few things rattling outside in the caravan, not sure exactly what they are. Nothing looks obvious from visual inspection this morning. Maybe it's a screw loose on the roof or something like that for one of the panels. Have a look at that later on today. We are going via Ceduna today. The car needs a little bit of oil maintenance top up, so we'll get that organised with Toyota. Mybergs, we've left them behind. They will be catching up with us later on, either in Ceduna or somewhere else. Nice walking track, running track as well, cycle track for locals from our caravan park all the way into town. Cars come into Ceduna. Toyota needs a bit of a clean, but it's come for a bit of an oil fill replacement. Sharon's already sussing out a new car.
That's right.
Her second car, because the first one's not good enough. Cafe and restaurant, coffees, burgers. Place to live though. Beautiful coastal strip of Ceduna. No, that'll be a swimming pool.
Really?
Like with the white things, right?
Yeah.
That's a swimming pool. We have left Ceduna and we are now chasing the Mybergs, who are now in front of us. Sushi, that's supposed to be a good oyster place as well.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Oyster bun. Checkpoint.
Well, yeah, checkpoint, you'll declare all your fruit and veggie and
Coming into WA.
coming in South Australia.
The swim pools. 1917 to Perth. Long 70 the next one. Anna Creek Station. Different style of windmill. And Australia's biggest windmill is Comet. Cables are slowly going up and down, up and down. This one's going down, and then go up, so it's slowly pumping water into the tank. A little bit of water coming through. And then you've got the done light one over there, which has definitely been done very light for propellers. The red and the white and the blue. Meteor.
Oh yeah. That looks like
This is Molly. What do you know about Molly?
she was erected in 1956 on the Nullarbor Plain. Sorry, Lola, there's no one named after you. Eggs, it could have been Ripple, because that's what Mitch calls Lola.
Riddle with, yeah, they look like wooden paddles.
This is a roof structure. This is of the windmill fan, and the surrounds inside about 500,000 gallon tank.
5,000 gallon, no, 500,000.
That's nice, only 5,000.
Yeah, he said 500,000.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 5,000.
Or is it Australia's longest golf course? These guys are just finished. First golf green. Anyway. Nullarbor Links, world's longest golf course. 18 hole par 72 golf course spanning 1.3 kilometres, with one hole in each participating town or roadhouse along the air highway from Ceduna, sorry you missed the first one, in South Australia to Kalgoorlie in WA. Hold on kids, we're looking at the map upside down. It is Australia down under.
It shows you all the golf things here. So Ceduna must have 2.
Penong.
That's number 3.
And then there's Wunundri Roadhouse. Are we playing golf? No. We haven't got a golf stick. We haven't got golf balls.
No, got nothing. Next time.
Fowlers Bay. Some nice sand dunes in the background there, slowly encroaching on these houses, I presume. There is lots of history on display at the foreshore at Fowlers Bay. Dutch Captain Peter Knights discovered the coastline in 1627. Captain Matthew Flinders, commander of the HMS Investigator, named Fowlers Bay in 1802. Flinders and a naval surgeon in 1798 circumnavigated Van Diemen's Land, or as we know it, Tasmania, in the sloop Norfolk, confirming that the island was not connected to the mainland. In 1802 he commanded the sloop the Investigator and charted the south coast of Australia, naming various coastal features, and attested to the accuracy of the charting which the Dutch had done, and believed that he had rediscovered the group of islands at the eastern extremity of Thyson's chart. In 1803, Flinders arrived in Sydney after circumnavigating Australia and charting the Gulf of Carpentaria. In 1814, his monumental work, A Voyage to Terra Australis, was published. He died the very next day, aged 40. Flinders gave Australia its name, the name being first used in 1817 instead of New Holland by Governor Lachlan Macquarie. Fowlers Bay. Oops, over here. Ford Drive and sand dunes over here.
Yeah, so that statue where you've got air, so it must be Wiley that's with him. He went across with 3 Aboriginal guys.
Joey, Yarra,
and Wiley.
Yarry and Wally.
And then he went across with another guy named Baxter, and then Joey and Yarry killed Baxter and deserted with valuable supplies.
So Edward John Eyre, can you say about him?
He came out from England when he was 17. He bought some land, which is now where Canberra is. He drove between Adelaide and Melbourne, and then he decided to go to Perth, and then found that the route was really quite taxing, so then he decided he would do a route between here and the west. And then the government wanted to fund him and go elsewhere. They reckoned it was an inland desert and all that, so he tried that. The local Aborigines in the area said there's no inland sea, there's no rich terrain, and so then he decided, nah, I'm going to go and do this actual route.
Became a resident magistrate.
He did. We went back to England.
1845. The Dutch sea exploration, 1627. Francis Thyssen first charted the coast of South Australia, at least the far west coast, in 1627. He was in command of the Dutch East India Company ship Golden Zeepad, or the Golden Seahorse. This was the first European ship to sight the coastline of the Great Southland. And then in 1840 and 1844, which is many years later, there was a whaling industry which flourished, and Streaky Bay, which is where we were, and Fowlers Bay, which is where we are at the moment, were whaling stations. In 1840, Edward John Eyre set up a base camp at Fowlers Bay before embarking on his trip over to the west. Shipping at Port Eyre, Fowlers Bay. Some quite significant sized ships that seem to be anchored along the jetty here, or moored along the jetty. Nullarbor Plain, eastern end of Treeless Plain. As you can see over there and beyond, the odd bush, but generally no trees. We are at the head of the bight in South Australia. We are just camped outside the gate, and we will get access tomorrow to have a look at the head of the bight tomorrow morning from 8 o'clock. So gate's closed. We tried to get in. We got as far as the main office, but we're running a little bit too late, so they said just to come tomorrow, which is what we're doing, and we'll see what we want to see. This sign detailed a lot of history regarding the exploration of the Nullarbor, with the construction of the railway tracks from east to west, the use of Aboriginal labour to build the tracks, the relocation of local Aboriginal people from their main Spinifex country to missions. If that wasn't enough, then they were removed from their lands for the Woomera long-range weapons testing, and later for the British nuclear testing of bombs in 1952. 2 atomic bombs were tested at the time, which caused black mist. Testing was then moved further south to Maralinga. There were still Aboriginal people living in the Spinifex lands. A patrol officer was sent out to find people who are still living in the area, and those who were found were taken back to the missions. 7 more atomic bombs were exploded as a minor trial. A lot of this was kept secret. Some of the tribe's people, men only, tried to go back to their country in the 1960s after testing was finished. When title deeds were eventually handed back to the Aboriginal community, the community knew the land was poisonous. The Aboriginal community sought compensation for the land that needed to be cleaned up. It's unclear as to whether this was ever provided.